Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about all the books I read in July. So boom, this month in July, the month of July, I read 10 books, which low-key is a little more than usual. Kind of proud of myself. I was on vacation for like part of the first week of July, so that kind of threw me off a little bit, or at least I thought it would. Maybe it didn't. I usually average like 6, 7, 8 books a month, so this is a little high for me, but it is what it is. I'm just her. I'm just her. What else can I say? But I've read 10 books this month, so we're gonna go over all of them, starting with Finley Donovan is Killing It. I gave this book 3 stars, but now thinking back on it, I'd probably give it like a solid 2. I didn't really enjoy it very much, but I think it might have honestly just been the wrong book at the wrong time. I feel like I would have enjoyed it at a different time. It's just when I was reading it, I just wasn't really feeling it, and I made myself pull through, so I didn't really end up enjoying it. So I feel like it didn't really get a fair chance. So I might continue with the series like when I'm in the mood for it, but for book number 1, I just give it 2 stars because I wasn't really feeling it, and I don't even really remember the plot. I finished that book on the 1st, so I don't even really remember the plot or what happened, but I finished it. So Finley Donovan is Killing It. I give it 2 stars now. That just is what it is. I also on the 1st finished Gathering Blue, which is the 2nd book of the Giver Quartet. So this book I ended up giving 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the first one. I feel like the first one, which is The Giver by the way, it just holds like so much nostalgia for me because I had to read that book in grade school, and the movie and everything is just so nostalgic to me personally, so I kind of hold it near and dear to my heart. So for that reason, I feel like the first one will always kind of be the one for me, because I did give the first one 4 stars as well, but I would give it like a 4.75. So like this second one, I give it a 4, no more no less. It was a good one, just not, it didn't have an impact on me like the first one did. So next I ended up finishing Funny Story by Emily Henry, and y'all, I gave this book 4.75 stars. This book did everything it had to do. This was my 2nd book that I ever read by Emily Henry. The first book I read was Beach Read, and I did not like it. I think I gave that book 2 stars. I absolutely did not enjoy that book, but Funny Story, literally 8. Loved everything about it. There was only a few things where I was like why? Like why? But like other than that, love the book. I love Miles. Like he's kind of, I don't know, he just does it for me. Also Miles is just a name for me, but yeah, I really enjoyed the book. Emily Henry made a smooth comeback with that one because like I said, the first book I read by her I did not enjoy, so maybe I'll pick up another one. I don't know, maybe not right now, but maybe soon, maybe sometime eventually. Next I read Heartstopper number 5, which I ended up giving a solid 4, no more no less. Usually I feel like the series, the Heartstopper series, is a solid 4 for me. Like no more no less. Like they're fun little quick reads, plus they're like little graphic novels, which are fun to like shake it up every now and again, but like nothing too like I'm obsessed with. I also watched the series, which was fun, but also nothing I was too obsessed with, so like a 4. I feel like no more no less, it was right there at a 4. Next this month I ended up reading Turtle in Paradise, which was a nostalgia read for me. I just wanted to read it because I seen it and I hadn't read that book since like elementary school, so I wanted to pick it up again, and it was good. I feel like it's a good kid's book. I feel like when I read it in elementary school, because it was for Battle of the Books, yes, I was kind of nerd, but I didn't really understand what was happening, so now that I reread it, I understand it. It was pretty good. I gave it 3 stars. It was nothing too, because it is like a children's book, but like it was nothing too like groundbreaking for me, but I am 20 years old, so there's that. But it was a good book. It was cute. The next book, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. All these books I read either on my Kindle or were library books that I already returned. I'm sorry, only like 2 of these were like I had physical copies of. My bad. But like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I gave it a 4 stars, solid. I enjoyed it. I kind of buddy read this with someone. It was kind of a contest, and I did kind of lose, but we read it together more or less, and we both thoroughly enjoyed it, and we'll be watching the series together, and we'll be continuing the series together. So there's that. Really enjoyed A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and actually can't wait for the series to come out in a few days. Today is July 29th, and it comes out August 1st. So yeah, I'm actually so excited, and we will definitely be watching it together. Next, I read Displacement, which I don't know why I read this. I think I saw it on TikTok or something. I saw it somewhere, and I wanted a quick little read. This is also a graphic novel, kind of like historical fiction graphic novel-esque, if you know what I mean. But I gave it 3 stars. It was nothing too like, I wasn't obsessed with it. I wasn't obsessed with the characters. The plot was kind of cool, but like, I feel like it's one of those books where I feel like it would be a good movie. Like, it would be a good movie, but the graphic novel was just okay. But I feel like if it was a movie, it would eat. Same thing for A Novel Love Story, which I actually have physically. This is like one of the only books I have, but that's because it's by Ashley Poston, and I'm actually in love with her. So Ashley, if you see this, I love you. But A Novel Love Story, I gave this book 4 stars. I enjoyed this book, but not as much as I enjoyed the 7-Year Slip. I loved the 7-Year Slip, but I also loved this, and I loved the male lead and the female lead. I loved them about it. It's just like, once you figure out like the little plot twist, I guess, once you figure out like who the dude is in the book, then like it all makes sense to an extent. But also, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. The ending was really cute, like actually so cute. Like, I'm actually really glad it happened, and I'm glad she wrote it like that, because girl, I was kind of concerned. I was a little concerned. So she kind of got me there. Ashley, you kind of ain't, but I love this book. I always love Ashley's books. I actually have the Dead Romantic sitting right here beside me. Haven't read it yet. I want to get to it next month because I just love her. So, A Novel Love Story. Honestly, I recommend if you're into Ashley Poston and like romance. Also, I feel like this would just be a great movie. I don't know how Ashley does it. Like, she has the best brain ever. Like, I don't know how she does the magical realism stuff. I don't know how she thinks of it, but she absolutely devours every time. So, Ashley, I see you. I literally see you, because this devoured, I feel like this would be an epic movie. Like, oh my gosh. A Novel Love Story, everybody give it up, because she deserves her praise for this one. She deserves her praise for the 7-Year Slip too. Maybe for all her books. I haven't read the Daily Romantics, but might as well. You know what I'm saying? Next, I read Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, and I gave this book 4.75 stars. I loved this book, okay? I never read a book by Annabelle Monaghan, and she absolutely devoured. Like, she actually ate it down. So I might have to read everything she's ever wrote in her life, because that book was so good. I actually couldn't put it down. I read it in like 24 hours or less. Like, I was obsessed. I read it on my Kindle. Absolutely in love with everyone, with everything. So yeah, and then literally the last book I finished this month, which I have been reading for almost a month, maybe even a month and a half, was The Ministry of Time. Y'all, this book, I started reading this book at the end of June, mostly because, hold on, my dog is at my door. The Ministry of Time. I started this book about a month ago, and the only reason I didn't finish it is just because the plot wasn't reeling me in. And I know it looks like I didn't annotate it, but I did, because I originally read this book and started annotating this book for it to be a gift for somebody. If I have a picture of it, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. But I was not in love. I think, what did I end up giving this book? My rating for this book was 3 stars, and I feel like I'm gonna stand on that pretty heavily. I wasn't really obsessed with the plot or the characters. I loved Graham, but he was really the only person that I was kind of like obsessed with, that I kind of even remotely liked. Everyone in the book I think is likable. It wasn't like I was like I loved them though, you know? So like, it took me a while to read it. The plot was just kind of like, I don't know, I feel like stuff didn't start happening until like this last 70% of the book. So yeah, there's that. because what happens is you basically start at the beginning and it's like, oh my gosh, like they actually did that, and then you're like in the middle and you're like, okay, so like what happens next? And then you get to like 70-80% to the book and you're like, okay, it's rolling again. But like that's a big chunk. Even though the book isn't like the longest book ever in the world, it just nothing was happening. But I feel like it would be a great movie. So honestly, make the Ministry of Time movie. Other than that, I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite thing in the world. The only reason I really finished it was because it was for a gift for someone that I had to give away. So they did end up receiving the gift because I did end up finishing the book. But if it wasn't for that, I probably never would have finished it. That was the only thing that kept me pushing through the book. But like, it's not like I hated it or anything. Like, I did enjoy the book. It's just like kind of slow. So if that's your thing, go for it. But like, if it's not your thing, you might not enjoy this book as much. So yeah, that's honestly the vibes. No hate, no shade. It was still a good book. It just wasn't my favorite book of all time in the planet of the world. So yeah, and that's all I read this month. Did I kind of fly by that a little fast? I did. Usually I film these videos and it's like clip after clip because I usually film my review after I finish reading the book, but it just kind of slipped my mind this month. So yeah, I'll be back to it regularly next month. This month I was just kind of busy. It slipped my mind. I kept finishing books and not picking up the camera. So we're back to our regular scheduled programming next month. So come back next month for, you know, the regular wrap-up video. But for now, this is what we're working with. So I hope you enjoyed the video because I enjoyed making it. If you liked it, you should subscribe. And if you didn't like it, you should find another video on my channel. Subscribe after that. And I will see you guys next time I post, which will hopefully be soon. So yeah, 10 bucks. 10 bucks? 10 books this month was kind of good. Like, kind of slay, kind of devoured, kind of ain't. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time I post. You see my nails? I did my nails. Okay, bye. That's not the point.